Good morning. So today for this video, I will be reviewing 5 different digital learning objects. Each different digital learning object will have 5 different criteria that I look at when I'm looking at something that could be useful in the classroom. So first criteria is it available for both students and teachers? Second, is it easy to use, or how easy is it to use? Is it relatable to the curriculum? How are the graphic designs? And then the last one is, can special ed students use it? Which is very important to me, being a special education resource teacher for the past 3 years. So the first one I'm going to share with you is the iMovie. iMovie is available on Apple-related digital objects, or not digital objects, sorry, Apple-related technology. So, for example, the iPhone or the iPad, and then you can go and edit everything on your Mac. The reason why I like this is because it's very creative and students can really interact and do and move around and create something really great, and then they can show it to their class and be very proud of it. It is a great tool for creating a story. So instead of writing a story, you can get kids to make a video and to create their own story. So I have personal experience using this app with integration of technology part 1, which I have created a video on children with mental health, since it is something that I do every day. So here's a little sneak peek, and all of these links will also be available with my review once I post this video. So that is just an example, and if you would like to watch the video, you can definitely click on the link and watch the entire video. But I really enjoy this because you can add pictures of yourself. So students can add pictures of what they're doing. They can add short little clips of videos. They can add anything they want in between and really make it flow, and they can choose even the different types of music that they want to use. So it's a really, really good tool. So if we look at the review for the iMovie, I on a scale of 1 to 5, I said that it's 5. Boy, having a hard time talking here. So is it available for both students and teachers? I put yes, it is available for everybody. How easy is it to use? I would say it's a 4. You might have students that need a little bit more directions and more help with creating their video. And then, is it relatable to the curriculum? Yes, it is. You can use it for dramatic arts, dance, theater, languages. So reading and writing, instead of writing a story, they can create it. And then the graphic designs, I gave it a 5. I find the graphics are really good and the quality is very good. And can special ed students use it? I would give it a 4. They might need a little bit more help, but it will also be more beneficial to them because they will be able to create a story instead of writing and writing can be very painful for them. So this will be perfect. The second one that I have picked is Show Me. So Show Me is an app that you can have on your iPhone or any kind of iPad, or even Android phones are also available for Android phones. So what you do is almost like a whiteboard. Teachers can write on it, and as they're writing and showing the strategies, they can record themselves saying it or explaining it. And students can do the same thing with that, and they can also record themselves explaining their strategies or their work, and they can also record themselves, so they could do a video and explain in the video what they're doing, or they could take a picture of their work and record their voice over it. So it's really fantastic. And it's really good for kids that have special needs, because then they can become a little bit more independent, and then you can really see what they're having a hard time with. So here's a little video of what it is. Sorry about that. That was a little bit loud. So he's just going to explain a little bit what you can do with it, and then you can watch the video later. So he kind of shows you what you can do with the Show Me app, and it's really interactive. So going to my review for the Show Me app, I put, is that available for both students and teachers? Yes, I put a 5 because anybody can use it. It's very easy to use, so I put a 5. Relatable to the curriculum, yes, you can use it in any subject that you would like. And graphic designs, I put a 4 because it's very simple. There's nothing too dramatic to it. And then can special ed students use it? Yes, they can. And actually, I find it really good for students that have special needs because it's pretty straightforward. There's only a few buttons that they can touch. It's easy for them to record it, and it's easy for someone else to be able to give them a hand. The next tool is Powtoons. So Powtoons is a good way to create a PowerPoint presentation with a little bit more animation, and kids really enjoy that. It's almost like you can have it like a comic book strip kind of style. So if you go edit, it gives you a lot of options. The only downfall about Powtoon is that because if you don't pay for it, you only have access to certain things. So it's a little bit limited to what you could choose, but it also gives you a great start in something that you can actually still use. So you just pick, and then, for example, if you play, it'll animate it for you. I will show you an example over here. So that is just the website. So that's just a little example so that you can see how animated it is. A lot of people that animate the personal development days usually use Powtoon to create different things to show us, and it's a little bit more animated, and the visual is really good, and kids really enjoy it because there's a little bit more action going on, and it's not very traditional. So for that, my review of Powtoon. So is it available for students and teachers? I put a 4 because it is available to a certain extent. So you do have access to certain things, but you don't have access to the full thing because you would have to pay. Is it easy to use? You might have to teach your students a little bit more on how to use it, but once they figure it out, then it would be good. It's very relatable to the curriculum. You could honestly do a Powtoon in history, geography, any kind of subject. It's really easy to integrate it. And then for special ed, again, I would give it a 4 because the students will need a little bit more guidance. So this brings me to the next app or next learning object, which is Seesaw. So Seesaw is like a platform, teaching platform. And what's nice is that you can actually, this is a good way for students to either videotape themselves, create a folder with they can videotape themselves or write different things. And then that way you can go into their folder and see what they have been doing. And then you can kind of pick and choose to evaluate certain things, or this way it can help you with your report cards for observation. And you can also share these things with the parents too. So parents, you can give access to certain things and not to everything with, like, they can't see everything else, like what other students see or what other students have, only what their child has. And it's a good way to communicate too. So like, let's say, oh, don't forget there's an evaluation or a test tomorrow, so please try to review your notes. And it's a great way of also sharing, like, oh, don't forget it's pizza day on Friday, so don't forget to not make a lunch, or don't forget your snacks. So it's a great app for that. So here's a little example of the teachers using it in class. So I really enjoyed this app because everybody's involved. Everybody can use it. Everybody can see the progress of our students, and it's really great. So for my review for this one, let me go check. So is it available for both students and teachers? I give it a 5 because it's available even for parents, which is great because we want parents to feel part of their students' education, of their child's education. Is it easy to use? I put it a 4. Once the students know where to go, how to get their folder, how to scan their barcode, it is great. But before then, it is a 4 because you have to do that teaching part, that teaching aspect of it. Is it relatable to the curriculum? Like I said in the video, it is related to every subject possible. So I give it a 5. How are the graphic designs? I give it a 4 because looking at the screens, it's very basic. It becomes more graphic once the child is adding to their portfolio. Can special ed students use it? Yes, they can. Again, I give it a 4 because you will have to teach that student how to use it first. Once they know, I feel like it will be a great tool. Which leads me to my last review, Plickers. So Plickers is a tool that I have seen teachers use. It's almost like a scan, and I will show you a little video of it. It's a barcode scan. So the teacher creates various questions and puts it on the whiteboard. And then students have a barcode scan with different letters, and each letter relates to each answers of the question. Then the teacher takes her iPad, and in the app, she scans each barcode. Takes a little bit of time, but I find it really great because the students really like to know, really like to interact and be able to see what happens. And so when you're scanning, it records it for you. It records the answer. And the nice thing is there are no names. Students will not know who answered what, which is perfect. And I believe that every card is different. So students can't say, oh, look at this one, she put the wrong answer. They will not be able to do that, which is really good for students that have special needs because then that way they won't get teased for not having the right answer. So I have not created anything considering that I am not in a classroom, but I just registered so that I could show you a little bit what it is. So you have your demo class and you can add stuff. So if you go, I'm going to close this. And if you go here, I will show you a little video on how a phys ed teacher uses it, which is really cool because that's what I will be doing in the new year, in the new school year. So this gives you a lot of option and makes it a little bit more interactive for students instead of just doing a random multiple question review. This way it's more interactive and you can implicate even the students into your questions. So if we go to my last review, is it available for both students and teachers? I would give it a 3. It is available to teachers, but not necessarily to students. So students can't necessarily go in there. It's a little bit easier for teachers to go and create the questions. The students is more answering with their code, their barcode. Is it easy to use? Once you have your questions built up, the answering and learning how to use the cards are very simple, very easy. Is it relatable to the curriculum? It is relatable to every subject possible based on anything that has questions that you want to ask. And it would also be really great for art class. You could have a picture of an artist and then they would have to identify who did this painting. How are the graphic designs? So it's very basic. So I gave it a 4. It could maybe be a 3, but I didn't want to go too low because it's still a really good tool. Can special ed students use it? Yes, they can. I would give it a 4 because they still have to understand the questions and be able to read them. Obviously, it is in my nature to read the questions and I identify each question, so it would be easier for my students to really know which answer is which, and then they just have to turn their card. So I really appreciate this one because once they know how the card works, then it would be easy for them. So that is my review, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will share this document and the links that were presented in my video. Thank you.